Hello, welcome back to Basil Makes History. And some other stuff happens, but mostly the Basil show. I
Right, the
remember
Basil
this.
show.
Yeah. Where were you when Basil spoke?
God.
So after an attempt to diffuse your own famousness in favor of someone else, you merely reinforced the fact that if it weren't for you, then the sun would
Yep.
be blotted out from the sky, and
Good.
yeah, everything would be horrible. So thank goodness for Basil and Agnes.
We did it. We did it, Agnes. High
Saved the
five.
day.
Yippee.
So meanwhile, Rooster is selling a not quite dead woman to a corpse guy. Um,
No.
Meanwhile, on the other side of town, what does that look like? What's the jam here, Rooster? So he wants you, yeah, he just wants you to pay him. It would be like an ob one, like she's nobody special.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm pulling out money, and I think like I have to get him to help me count it because I'm not good at counting or like working with money. And there's this like it's like takes an awkwardly long time, and I'm really bad at it. But I just like pay him.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
point.
super transactional about it.
That's a good point. Okay. He will definitely take advantage of you then. Let's bump the ob up to 2. It should be ob 1, but you're a sucker and he knows it. So, I presume you don't have any like related wises or anything to make. And you don't have haggle or anything. So, it's just
Nope.
okay. What's your resources?
2.
Oh, well, all right. You got a chance. This could happen. This could happen for you. If you fail, you'll get what you want, but you'll just not have as much change as you thought you might have.
Yeah. Do I want to bump some fate or persona rather into this?
Yeah, you always can.
I'll spend a persona point on it. This is like very important to my goal.
Well, and
So
it's
I
it's
put that in.
also it's also great because yeah, put it in as Artha because it doesn't up the difficulty, so you'll have 3 dice and you'll be making a test that's likely to improve your resources. Slowly,
One.
one coin at a time. Rooster's building the empire. There you go.
I did it.
Nice work. Okay, yeah. So you have enough to pay and not to tax yourself in doing so.
Like maybe, and in fact, maybe it's me like catching that the count was wrong, that I was like fucking up the count.
Yeah, yeah,
Something like I go to like hand him too much money, and then I'm like, wait a minute,
yeah.
I have to
And it
catch
could,
back some of the coins.
yeah. And so what is that moment like for Rooster where you realize you're not as like incompetent at this particular thing than maybe you think you would be?
Particularly because it's in front of the freaking boogeyman, it
Yeah, yeah,
feels
yeah.
good. It
Well,
feels
and,
real
and
good.
and the transactional nature of this, you're in a weird position because you're getting to play a different part of this story than you normally would, right? The way that Tabastes existed in your childhood was if you were bad, then the slave master would pay Tabastes to take you away. But now you're the one paying Tabastes, right? You're
Yeah,
paying
or I
the
would be
bad
sold
man.
to him. But yeah, now I'm just like, yo, you're mine. I'm buying you
You're
off.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
you're in a position now where you can pay the bad man to do what you want.
yeah.
That's
So it feels like for Rooster, that is a very good feeling. That is a
yeah,
very like liberating feeling.
yeah, yeah.
In a way that like a lot of other bullshit that was thrown at him did not make him stop feeling like a slave. This is actually a moment where he's like, "Oh shit, like yeah, I'm in charge of stuff."
Yeah, yeah, cool. So you pay him, and he secrets the coins away in some fold of his robes, and pulls on like a long silk, like a pole that's hanging from the ceiling, and somewhere underneath you hear another of those like iron bells like ring slightly, and then there's footsteps coming upstairs, and from out the back, a much larger Stygian, a woman, wearing like a like black, or I guess it'd be gray, like gray like wrappings basically, like kind of like the lepers from Princess Mononoke, like she's all covered
Mhm.
except for her like
Like
pale
fully.
yellow eyes. Yeah. And she's wearing like thick leather gloves. She comes out and wordlessly it just goes to the chair, and like lifting a baby, she just like scoops this like dying woman up, um and disappears behind the curtain. And Tabastes like nods to you, and and kind of like just goes to follow her into the back. And so you're
Um,
Unless
I'll
you,
just
yeah, unless you have anything to say, you're just like left alone in the room.
I'm sure I'll see you again soon, Debastes.
He, yeah, I don't think he responds. I think he just goes like he knows to.
And then I walk off. Yeah, I walk out.
He
But
acknowledges that
I
something
expect
has
to be,
changed.
I expect that there will be something happening with me and the woodsman. So like
Yeah, let's
I'm
see how
like
that
almost on
goes.
guard when I'm leaving. Like I've got a bit of swagger, but I'm also like woodsman's gonna pull some shit.
You walk out and Woodsman just like arm bars you. So what? Yeah, what does happen, Colin? Where's the Woodsman when the rooster comes outside?
I'm just leaning against the side of the building. Sort of maybe if there's like a little alcove off to the side, I'm kind of hanging around there. And I'm like deep into my drink at this point.
Yeah, and so when I see that you're just like being cool about it, or at least that's what I'm assuming, then I'm just like, yeah, you see, no problem. Mess cleaned up.
I knew you
Cleaned
were.
up your mess earlier. I'm cleaning up my mess now. I'm a very responsible citizen.
Look, I don't even know how to talk to you about you being a citizen. It's you stabbed a woman, and then what do you think Basil would think about this?
Basil would think a lot of things,
And
but he
then
also knows what needs to happen.
you
Basil doesn't
gave.
want to see it getting done, but it needs to get done.
Well, okay, nothing about this needs to get done. You gave her to a guy with creepy stuff.
Look,
This is a mess, Rooster, and
it's
you
just
made it.
another piece of meat getting shipped overseas. What matters here is that they were trying to. You saw they were helping him. That no, I just knocked my own mic over. That guy with no hand. They were fucking helping him. He was gonna live.
All right, you know what? We need to go. We got to find what happened with the other doctor.
Yeah. We better hope that Basil and Agnes didn't fuck this one up.
Yeah,
It's actually important.
but Rooster, just do me a favor and try not to kill anyone from here to there.
Hey, we made it this far. I didn't kill anyone.
I just start walking off.
And then like I'm like still standing there because I'm like I feel kind of like slighted. So I'm just like, what? And everyone I killed needed killing. And I'm just like shouting this down the street.
Completely ignore all of it.
I'll like follow along afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, Rooster's got like a bit of swagger going. He's all confident and shit.
Okay. Yeah. So where are you headed?
I think we're gonna head back to the
Back to the creepy
the original doctor.
Oh,
Yeah,
back to the doctor. Okay. Sure.
the scare quotes.
because we don't have any idea where Basil and Agnes are.
That
It's
is
true. They might have that moment of like, oh shit, the kids.
God, yeah, wait, we sent. Right, okay. I just remembered what happened last episode, which was Rooster was like, I'm going to stomp away and go take care of something. And I was like,
I got something I gotta do.
Right. And then Woodsman went with him to calm my nerves. Thank you, Woodsman.
Actually, which reminds me of the second order of business that Rooster had in mind.
Oh, God.
So like as we're walking, I like kind of like hustle up and catch up to the woodsman. I'm just like, speaking of that lady, you know, I feel like that machine that she made was pretty important, and Basil said it was important, and we just fucking left it in that building. Don't you think someone should do something about that? And I'm kind of being a dick to the woodsman, where I'm just like not dropping these topics, and I keep like harassing him about it, even though he's trying to just like drink and stroll or whatever.
I'm like, do you think someone's gonna steal that machine? Did you see how big that machine is?
Yeah, but those people in that tenement, they don't know what it is. They're just going to try to strip it down for any part they can sell on the street. And they'll think that they can sell anything on the street because they're right. They can. We should go back there.
And then what? What are we supposed to do there?
Well, we can keep an eye on it.
how will no one will even know that we're there keeping an eye on it?
But you just want to leave it then?
We didn't say any of this to Agnes or Basil.
And I just kind of like shrug. I'm like, well, I guess.
I'm like, do you even know what that machine does?
I don't know. It makes papers come out or something.
That doesn't sound very important.
I mean, when you put it that way, it's pretty fair, actually.
Yeah,
Never thought of that.
we need to let's try to find what happened with Agnes and Basil.
Yeah, you know, I lose sight of them. Who knows what trouble they could get into?
So meanwhile, Agnes and Basil, where do we find you after all that business? Where are the two of you?
I kind of like the idea that Agnes and I did have the idea of going to the printing press to make sure that it's okay. So if those two would have come to meet up with us, they would have gone to do that. They would have met up with us.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's cut to the two, because Agnes, you have a belief about the
Yeah.
press, right? So yeah, you maybe. So
do.
did you? Were you the one that was like, we should go back and check? Did you have that exact same conversation, but it didn't go that way? Right.
Yeah, I
Right. We're like,
We're talking about how it's like
Probably, yeah.
not important, and they're talking about how it's super important.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what happened.
I just want to take a second to point out how great it is that like Agnes and Basil both had beliefs about the importance of the printing press, but for Agnes it was like, oh, this machine is going to change things, and for Basil it was like, oh, this one great hero, this one person is the important thing, not the actual thing that's going to change history, but this like weird great person of history fucking bullshit that Basil
Totally.
believes in. I love it so much.
yeah.
Yeah, because Basil thinks he's one of those people.
Right. Even if he would deny it, of course he thinks he is.
well, and that's very much like a thing about looking at history, right? Like there are different theories about the way that history, like
Exactly.
would it be inevitable that someone like Basil would exist, or
Right.
is history the way it is because Basil exists? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, is it that we could just make another printing press or just make another Basil? Which one's the
Which
like,
one's the more important? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we definitely have that conversation and just like, yeah, that's a good idea. We should go back and make sure no one's taking anything from it and just hang out there. The other two will know. They must know that that's important to us. They'll meet back up with us.
Yeah, they're gonna go guard it. They would know to do that.
Yeah.
So what's the condition of the machine and the area where all the people we killed are?
So it's it's several hours since the last time you were here. You're outside this building, and it looks much the same from the outside. There's no like big crowd. The Revolutionary Guard doesn't really give a shit about what happens in this neighborhood. But there are several like obviously armed men, all armed with either long knives or swords, kind of just like being imposing around the entrance to the building.
They are clearly not. They are not guard. They are not revolutionary guards.
No,
These-
they're either very, very good undercover Revolutionary Guards, or there's some other group of personages altogether. They all have both hands. There's maybe like a half dozen of them.
How many?
Half dozen, six.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh, this changes a lot.
If only the Rooster and Basil were here. They would know what to do. Or sorry, the Rooster and
Yeah. What should we do?
I don't know. I mean, maybe we can just walk by.
Just walk in? All right, you lead the way.
Okay. So I do. I start like strolling toward the door as if I'm like going to my apartment.
Okay, so you're gonna make an inconspicuous roll,
Mhm.
and I'm going to oppose you.
Oh boy.
All right, let me add these guys in.
There's so many skills I wish I had.
What is streetwise again?
Streetwise, you could definitely fork streetwise in this case. The funny thing is, this game, you can have streetwise, which is a skill that's all one word, streetwise, or you can be a person who cobbles streets or whatever, and could be streetwise, which would be street dash wise.
Oh.
But in this case, you're streetwise in the sense of like the skill.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that skill, let's see. It's about like knowing like where safe houses are and like kind of getting the lay of the land. Let me take a look at the exact wording though. Okay, here we go. Streetwise, the etiquette of city streets helps you navigate urban centers safely, allowing you to find places only a native would know. But in this case, you can fork it for sure.
Okay.
So I will oppose with observation. Just let me put these dudes in the correct
It's gonna be great. He's gonna roll really poorly.
pile.
Are you using the stat sheet for dog catchers?
Yeah, they're just looking for that annoying dog from before. Yo, you see my dog? This is my friend Frank. He's real sad because his dog got missing.
Aw.
All right, let's see. So they're not particularly good at observation, but there are several of them. Let's say half of them are actually paying attention. So
All right.
I got 2 extra dice. The one making the test and 2 more who are actually paying attention. The other 3 are like playing craps against the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would have a union job.
All right. I got 2 successes.
Okay.
And you are the defender in this case, so you just need to match or beat them on your inconspicuous roll.
So what would that make my obstacle?
Up to. And this is just you, right? Holy shit, you are so inconspicuous. How did you get
Nice.
to be so inconspicuous? You were the
I hop
least
in
conspicuous
my
person
invisible
ever.
Wonder Woman jet, and we just fly.
fly
Stroll
right
on
in.
by.
Well, so this I mean, that's the ob for you, right? Like Basil.
Right.
Oh,
This
shit.
isn't Basil. This is just for you to get in. But you can inconspicuous your way in, no problem.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think
Nice.
they didn't really look up. One of them maybe like grunts at you in acknowledgement of like, oh, like he thinks he's seen you before or something. And Agnes would be awesome at like getting into bars for free or like
Right.
Agnes
Hey, you
never
were
gets
here
ID'd.
earlier, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
God.
You just show him the stamp on your wrist.
Yeah.
He's the perfect average of every other person in the like city.
You just like you put
Look
on
like
your
Agnes.
you put on your like I mean I guess how does Agnes, how are you inconspicuous, like because a person who was like who grew up in a like really oppressive society would learn to be inconspicuous one way, but someone who's just like used to being another face in the crowd would be inconspicuous in a different way. So what does Agnes's inconspicuousness look like? Same as like a celebrity with inconspicuous would be good at avoiding being noticed, right? It'd be like baseball cap, sunglasses kind of thing. But what does it look like for Agnes?
Well, it's a weird thing because I'm a super nondescript looking person, right? I'm just like a slightly overweight, staunchy woman with like an apron on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people recognize me. So I think I literally just stroll forward at like the most normal pace I can muster. And maybe I'm like, kind of looking in my pocket, like pretending to get out like a key or something like that, as if I live in this building.
Yeah. Whistling tunelessly to yourself.
Yeah.
All the usual nonchalance flags. Okay.
Like
Right.
if phones existed, I would have like my headphones in, like not looking at anyone, just walking straight ahead as
Yeah.
you do.
Totally. Okay. Yeah. So they don't pay you any mind. You just slip right by. Inside, it seems to be like business as usual. There are like people like standing around in the kind of like opening area where the wooden stairs lead upstairs, and there's like the sounds of conversations in many languages, the smell of food cooking in a bunch of different apartments, and just the kind of packed, sweaty human smell of a building with too many people living in it. You want to make your way up to the floor you were on before.
Yeah, but I want to wait until Basil gets into the building.
I think Basil has to go the back way where the dog was and the climbing stuff. Like I think he knows he can't go in this front way the way that Agnes can.
So you just sort of branch off.
Yeah, I think when you move forward, I tap you on the arm and then and nod my way, like I'm gonna go this way, and I start walking the other way back to the back
Around
courtyard.
to the courtyard. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, then I do go up to the room and wait by the window if I make it up there. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you start to ascend the stairs. Around back, you find there's the back of that, like it was the back of a tavern,
Right.
whatever. The tavern's obviously closed because it's early in the morning, but there's a table out there and there's 3 men sitting at it. One's smoking a pipe and the other 2 seem to be playing cards. They've got these big, like tall, thick cards that they're playing. And there's like a dog sleeping under one of the benches. And
Of course.
the man smoking the pipe like looks up at you and he's got like one eye. He's got like an eye patch and he's like smoking his pipe. He looks up, kind of squints at you, and goes back to whatever he was thinking about while he was smoking his pipe.
Right. Where is the ladder up from here?
It's like in clear view
Right.
of them. Yeah, right across on the wall.
It's good. Is this the way that the woodsman went in the first time?
Yes, the woodsman did the old Assassin's Creed and just took a run at the wall, and they were like, "Who is that crazy person?"
Right. Basil's no woodsman. This is the problem. God. I think I like my chances here better than I do up front, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I think I'm just gonna nonchalantly, as if I've done this as if it's like my job to do it. Do you know what I mean? Just like, gotta climb this ladder.
Totally.
But I might be overselling it. You know what I mean? Like in a really
Big dramatic sigh, like another day, another ladder. You know,
another ladder.
Gotta just climb that. My mom used to say, "Life is like a bunch of ladders." All right, so okay. Gosh, I mean, I feel like climbing the ladder is not even the issue here. It's like you're a able-bodied person with the capacity for climbing a ladder, but you're just trying to do it inconspicuously. So
It's inconspicuous still.
Yeah.
My hope is this guy only has one eye. So
yeah, the ob will be lower for sure.
it's not stealthy. It's definitely inconspicuous.
Definitely inconspicuous. There's no way to be stealthy in this situation.
Okay, sounds good. I'll add what is inconspicuous?
It is based on agility, I think, but let me double check. I actually really like that there's separated skills, like inconspicuous and stealthy are 2 different things, because most of the time when characters in a role-playing game want to be stealthy, they're actually just trying not to be noticed.
Right.
Inconspicuous is...
There it is. Will.
It's based on will? Interesting.
Yeah.
There you go. So it's
You
about...
can work in acting normally. That makes sense. It's
that
about
totally makes sense.
presentation. It's not about, again, it's not about being sneaky, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Right, just what Agnes did. I belong here. It's a...
Right,
sure.
exactly. Okay. So that's Will.
That'd actually be a really fun and probably pretty effective character in this game if you just played an actor. Like someone who used to be an actor, but then something bad happened. Now they had to become an adventurer.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. All right. So for me, it's just I'm gonna roll Will because I don't have inconspicuous yet.
Okay, so this guy I got 2 successes.
Ooh, so that means my ob is 4,
It would
right?
be 4,
No, my
yeah.
ob will be 4. Yeah, that's not impossible. What? I'll give it a roll.
You got a 6.
Spend that fate. There it is.
There you go. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So, I mean, maybe at first, like the guys that are playing cards don't even like bother looking up because they're not looking at you. Like the guy with one eye looks up, takes like a long drag on his pipe, sees you like jump for the ladder, shakes his head, and he's like, I think when you pull yourself up onto the balcony, and he's like, you forget your keys.
Yeah. Long night.
Yeah. He nods. He's like, tell me about it. And he kind of like taps his nose like, I see you. I see you being sneaky. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
I've been there.
You do what you got to do, man.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, and so what happens here is he's not going to remember this necessarily. He might remember that guy sneaking into his house after like being out with his mistress all night.
Right.
Right? Like,
Right.
you know, he'll remember you as part of the backdrop of all the other human beings that he sees in a day.
Right. Like if he ever tells a story about what it was like in this period of time, he'd say, "Oh, there's these guys who sneak back in at night," like, but not a specific
Yeah,
person.
he won't. And even if he saw you again in like an hour, he probably wouldn't recognize you. The story registers, but the people, it's the opposite of what just happened to you.
Right.
Okay. All right. So you get onto the balcony and start to climb. Meanwhile, Rooster and Woodsman, you get back to. It's been a couple of hours, so it's probably like early afternoon now. The full kind of power of the summer sun is starting to beat down on the city. You're both feeling warm. You've been outside walking all day, and back and forth across the city too. So when you get there, there's just this like pummeling heat coming up off the streets and down from the sky as you get to the alley. And you can just see the empty alley and the little post indicating a doctor lives there.
Are there still guards at the door?
No, they're gone.
Okay. All right, so I think I just walk up to the door and try to open it.
Yeah, and I make way for the woodsman.
Okay. Cool. Colin, can you nudge your mic volume up a little bit? You're just a little bit quiet. I just want to be able to hear you as well as I can hear Andrew. Okay. So yeah, there's nobody there. You start to walk up. The door's shut when you get there, despite the fact that it's like super hot. The door is closed.
Okay. I want to pick the lock.
Okay. Sure. Like some people would knock on the door, but not the woodsman.
Okay. No, I misunderstood you. I thought you were saying it's locked.
I mean, it could be locked.
Because I said I'd try to open it and walk in.
So you just yeah. So it's like barred or locked. Like it doesn't open immediately. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then yeah, I want to try to pick the lock.
Okay.
Broad daylight.
All right.
And I just do that thing of like standing around, looking tough, scowling at people who walk by.
I think
Covering
like,
for the woodsman.
while I'm like crouching down to like deal with the lock, looking over my shoulder, I see Rooster just kind of standing there, and I'm like, "Can you go stand over somewhere else, please?"
I'm like, what? You can't do it if someone's watching. As I like walk away.
Okay. Awesome. Go ahead and make your roll for that. This is like an ob2 lock, I think.
Okay.
Oh yeah, fuck that lock. No problem. It is a
Nice.
routine test of your skills. So you just get in there and start working away, and click, lock opens, door swings slightly ajar. Rooster, you hear the door click. You were waiting for it, so you hear it. And you turn
Yeah,
around.
I walk back over
Okay.
and just breeze through the door after him, close it behind us.
All right. Yeah. So the two of you go into the room, the like thick hallway as we described it before. And there's obvious signs of like a scuffle or like a fight or something here. There's like some broken shards of pottery on the floor. The furniture is all kind of like jangled around. There's a chair that's been knocked over. A couple of the like posters or whatever the papers that were up on the wall have been like torn down and are on the floor.
Just like shit. Look to the Rooster.
It's like, see, city guard. Usual bullshit. I like scoot something with my foot that's been knocked over and just like towing through all the trash.
I'm like, I'm gonna check upstairs and see if anyone's still here.
All right, I got this level, and I like start going through because there was like a kitchen or something on this level.
Yeah.
Not that I know about that, but just like there's more.
They sleep and work and like do operations and shit upstairs. Downstairs is like kitchen. There's a shared outhouse like in the courtyard outside. Some storage down here, and then the little like waiting area.
Yeah, so I like look around on the main floor.
Okay, the back door is open. just like hanging open.
Well, I go out into the courtyard,
Okay.
which is
Yeah.
where I assume the back door leads.
Yeah, there's a woman hanging up some laundry on a line, though. Like, yeah, she's like pinning up laundry. She's got a basket under her arm and pinning things up. The whole courtyard is sort of crisscrossed with laundry lines, and it's just like a baked clay kind of like floor that's been packed down by people walking.
So I like catch the woman's attention and then point a thumb at the house I just came out of and say, "Where'd they go to?"
She kind of squints at you, and you immediately get this sense of like, "Who are you, outsider? Why should I tell you? This guy's my neighbor." Like, very
Yeah.
immediately
Snitches
like
get stitches.
distrustful. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there like a thing for this where I can be like, I am like you?
Soothing platitudes would do that.
Yeah, well,
Too bad you're
that's not my
shit at that
style.
kind of thing. Woodsman, go talk to that woman.
Yeah, so I just like pause for a minute. Like I just like stare back at her when she doesn't answer, and I'm like, "What? You think I'm a fucking cop or something? Fucking look at me. You think I walk around like this, upholding the law? Shit, come on."
Let's make a roll. Let's see if you can convince this lady. Your intent is just to convince her you're trustworthy, right?
Yeah.
So the task here, I think, would be, I mean, you're not lying. You're just trying to get her to trust you. I think it's persuasion.
Okay, well, I'm forking in ugly truth then.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. The ugly truth would be whether I'm a cop or not a cop. It doesn't matter. I want you to tell me what I want, and that's how it goes. Like,
Okay,
you tell the ugly truth about a situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyways,
But you can definitely fork it. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the ob?
Not much for her. She's pretty easily pushed around. Let's say ob 2.
For you, not much. Oh, I'm so bad at it though.
Oof.
She don't trust me none.
Yeah, no. I think she shakes her head and she's like, I don't know what they look like. You could be anybody. I don't know you. I've never seen you before. I'm not telling you anything. Leave me alone.
I'm like, go die. And I walk back inside.
She gives you the like evil eye. She's
Yeah.
like, go to hell, asshole. Okay. All right. Yeah, you go back inside. Way to piss off an old lady.
Whatever.
Inside, Woodsman, what are you doing?
I went upstairs to see if there's anything.
Okay. All right. So you become, and maybe it's a reaction to the sound of your, like, I don't know. Are you trying to be sneaky or are you just like walking up the stairs?
No, I'm not trying to be sneaky.
So yeah, your boots like creak on the stairs. They're like shitty stairs. Like they feel like they could just fall out from under you. But as you get to the top of the stairs, there's a faint like moan, and there's like a deep voice that says something in a language you don't understand. That's definitely a question. There's a tone of uncertainty, and the voice sounds like weak, kind of like helpless.
Okay. I draw my hand axe and keep it at my side, and then barge into that room where that's coming from.
Okay. Yeah. So you like, push the door open. This
Yeah.
room looks like it's in better shape, though it's still weird. Like it's exactly as we last saw it on screen. But in the larger of the two beds, there's a shape, someone lying with the covers pulled like all the way over their head, so they can't see you, and they're moaning in pain when you come in.
Hello? Someone here?
Yeah, I think that you like they start a little bit when they hear an unfamiliar
Okay.
deep voice, and he sits up, and it's the doctor. He sits up and his like blankets fall away, and he's obviously recently been beaten fairly severely. So he has like the wounds are still fresh. He doesn't have a black eye yet because he hasn't had time to bruise. But he's got like a pretty bad cut on one of his brows. He looks like he might be missing a tooth. Like he's got like some cloth or something jammed into his cheek. And he like sits up and then grabs his ribs. He's like, and he looks over at you. And I don't think he recognizes you. I think he sees you and he's like, no, I've had enough today. I told them, and like waves at you. He's like, there's nothing left to take.
I'm like, Take what? What the fuck happened to you?
Kind of like looks at you. He's like, "You're not with the guard. We're closed. Go home. Get your cure for syphilis elsewhere."
I think I like going closer and like
Yeah, you take a step forward into the room, and something like wet squishes under your boot.
ugh.
And you look down, and there's like broken shards of glass. There's a pool of water, and like wriggling around on the floor, just a bunch of like thick black leeches. One of which you've just squished with your boot.
And there's like blood, like human
Oh yeah,
blood.
it pops.
spatter.
It just goes
Yeah.
and like shoots goo everywhere. And he sees that. Like you both hear this like loud, wet popping sound, and he looks down. And he's like, not my leeches too. Ugh.
I like sort of lift up my foot and like look at it and try to like scrape it on like the side of the bed or something.
Bedpost, yeah.
I'm just like pissed off. So I go up to him and like lunge in and grab him sort of by the collar and like pull him up a little bit.
Yeah. He
What are you
groans.
talking about?
He groans and like curses in whatever language he speaks.
Yeah.
And I think like Rooster, this is about when you come inside, and you can hear this conversation through the
Yeah,
floor.
I come upstairs right away.
Okay, so you hear behind him the like arrhythmic thumping of Rooster's
Yeah.
gate.
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
And he says the guard they came to collect. I didn't have money. He like shrugs. He's like, the last assholes who came in here didn't pay me very well. Like holds his ribs. He's like, I don't have anything. Whatever you want, I don't have it. We're closed. I'm giving up
Okay.
being a doctor. I'm going home.
Shut up for a second. There was a woman badly wounded and two people that came in with her. Did you treat her?
He nods. He's like, I did everything I could. I gave her my best leeches. I sewed her up. And they took her away. They weren't happy with their service, though. I think she's probably going to die, but I did what I could.
What? Rooster, get in here.
I'm
Yeah,
like
and you turn
already
and Rooster's like just
away.
standing there already. Yeah,
Oh.
that's awesome.
What?
Does he say anything? Like, or do I just like?
I love that moment that like Rooster, get in, and you turn around and Rooster's just
Yeah,
standing there.
so-
are you
Like
just-
right there. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
like mid sentence, I'm like, Rooster, get in here. Then I'm like, where did they go after you treated them? Where did they go?
He shakes his head. He's like, I don't know, whatever whorehouse your mother works in.
I slap him,
He's like, I regret saying that. Ugh.
and then I
touches his
just throw him
face.
down on the bed.
Yeah, he like it clatters and like he falls on the like hay mattress. And he's like, I don't need another beating today.
I'm like, come on, Rooster, we're getting out of here.
And I just like give you this look as you come towards the doorway. I'm just like, and I'm the cold one. I'm the bad man.
And he points when you say that, when you say bad, and the guy like points at you. He's like, wait, I know you. I know your face. You're the one that killed that girl.
And I'm just like, you're gonna have to be more specific, old man.
And he
Kill a
nods.
lot of people.
He nods. He nods, and he's like, "This city's empress. I wasn't there, but I heard. I used to be a big shot. I used to have noble clients. Now I live in this shithole because of you." And he like spits on the floor, and he's like, "Witch, take your eyes. You're why I'm here, being beaten by these guards instead of." And he like sighs heavily. He's like, "The life I led. It's your fault. Curse you."
This new one suits you.
He's like, "Fuck you, cripple."
I'm like, I'm the one on my feet, foot, whatever. You're the one who's gonna be pissing blood for weeks by the look of it. Tell you what, if you can stand up, I'll run you through as a favor. Otherwise, sit the fuck down and shut your stupid mouth. We were leaving anyways, right, Woodsman?
I think I'm like already sort of stomping out in the hallway.
And I'm like, didn't you know this guy? As I'm walking out.
Yeah, like he just didn't recognize you at all.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's a real doctor, Woodsman.
So I'm not really listening to Rooster as we go back downstairs, even though he's saying that stuff at me. And I'm just so pissed off. And I think as I walk back through like the main area, like the nearest table, I just kind of just like shove all the shit off of it, and I'm like, fuck, and then walk out.
Awesome. Cool. So you walk out and like slam the door open and walk out into the heat. And Basil and Agnes, we cut to you, and the two of you are in the room with the printing press.
No one else. So there were no other guards inside.
No,
Okay.
nobody was guarding the room specifically.
Is it intact?
I don't know. I'm like looking at it, like,
Yeah.
trying to figure out if it looks the same as it did before. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's been in here. Like you can smell, especially now that there's heat, you can smell like the bodies in the other room before you get in there. It looks like the whole place has just been like left alone. The floor seems like cleared out, like nobody's in the hallway.
Right. What do we do with this?
Oh, we can't move it. I think we just maybe need to stay here or get someone else to.
Yeah, maybe we. What do we do? The hell do we do? I think Baz like leans on it and like, maybe it's not as heavy as we think. No, it's super heavy.
Yeah, totally. Like I've seen weird machines like this before. Maybe it's no. That was about a million pounds.
Chance. Whew. And you already tried to disable it, make it take something from it, and couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I wish I could, but I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know what it does. I don't know how it works. But now that we're back here, maybe we can spend some time trying again.
Yeah, I'll give it a look for a little while, and I think we give it a look, and then my thought is those men outside are waiting for other people to come to clean up this mess, probably. Not Revolutionary Guard, the people who clean up problems locally. They didn't look like black robes. They had their hands.
Yeah.
So maybe we, one of us goes and pulls some strings and gets the Revolutionary Guard here, sees the machine. All the other stays behind to guard it. Someone has to go. We can't. Where are Rooster and the Woodsman? Why aren't they here?
Who knows?
Would you rather wait here, or would you rather go and try to get the guard?
I think you're better at talking, Basil.
It might not be safe here, though. Right, I should stay, actually. I could talk my way out of it if they come in. You're right. You go get the guard. I'll protect the machine.
I don't want to leave you.
I'll be fine.
I love that you
You
both
won't,
have. There's an instinct and a belief
Yep.
bashing into each other right now.
Yep.
Anyone could come back at any moment.
Don't
And
worry.
I
I'll
need to
drag
be
the bodies out into the hallway. They'll clean them up there. They won't come in. I'll lock the door. No one will know.
You know what? Cleaning up is a great idea, actually. We should get some of this blood off of us, don't you think?
That's a good idea.
Is there like a kitchen in here?
There's no running water, probably, right?
Yeah, no, there wouldn't be
Sad.
any
I
running
already used
water.
the gross gray water to clean my hands when I did the first surgery.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there windows in this like apartment like
Yeah.
suite?
There's the window that Erasmus ran out of when you first
Right.
came in. Yeah.
What's outside that window?
Um, there's probably just wall, and then like a shuttered window below and above too.
Okay.
And then from here you can look down into the main street. I think you're on the sort of front side of the building.
Okay. But one of us could get out that way if we needed to, the way Erasmus did.
Yeah.
I promise I'll leave the way I guess we don't know that was Erasmus,
Yeah.
right? We can go through that window. I'll escape that way if anyone comes. But we'll get nothing done if both of us sit here in this room for the rest of the day.
I mean, we could just make a roll and because it sounds like you both want the other one to go, right?
Yep.
Well, I want us both to stay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, that's good too. Okay. So, Basil, what you want is for Agnes to go and for you to stay here, right? Is that what you want?
Yes.
Okay. And Agnes, you want both of you to leave or stay?
Stay.
Stay. Okay. All right. Cool.
This is
Well,
persuasion?
Let's just roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Just do an opposed persuade. You have a short conversation about it. Yeah, we'll see who wins. So, you both don't have it though. So why don't you?
I have persuasion.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So why
right.
don't you roll it? That'll set the obstacle for Agnes. 'Cause
Sounds good.
It'll double.
I'm not
it
gonna,
after all.
I don't have anything here that I'm forking. There isn't. He isn't getting particularly rhetorically pretty with this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Agnes, you need 2 successes on an untrained persuasion roll to convince Basil. And if you tie, we can look for call-on traits, or you can just roll an opposed will test then. Okay, there you go. Nope.
What?
Terrible roll.
I just give up.
Yeah.
I like hand on Agnes's shoulder. Trust me, I'll be fine. You've been great today. Just go get the Revolutionary Guard. Hopefully Rooster and Woodsman will figure out where I am, and this won't be a problem. But we need officials here who will not run us through and who will help us get this machine out of here. Thanks.
Just don't go anywhere unless you have to. Don't do anything silly.
I won't. And I go in the other room to start dragging the bodies out of here.
All right. So, Agnes, how do you get out? Do you just walk back out the front door?
I walk back out the front door.
Okay, so I think that's probably the last sort of shot, right? Is of like Agnes walking out, no one noticing her as she walks out the front door and out into the crowd in the streets, and we get like the long pan back out to like an aerial shot of the big like fancy CG aerial shot of Freiburg, and as like the noontime bell is ringing, and we know that somewhere Woodsman and Rooster are out in this crowd too. And then we fade to black and the credits roll. So let's hand out some fate points. Why don't we start with, we'll just go down the list in order. Let's start with Agnes. So Agnes,
Yes.
beliefs, instincts, traits, anything earning you fate points today?
Didn't really have to defend anyone.
I mean, you tried. You were trying to like absorb the blow of being in the dangerous situation without like. I feel like that's where your belief there and Basil's instinct were like coming in conflict, because you were like, I have to protect Basil, and Basil was like, I can't let you do this thing alone.
Yeah.
So there was that, and it'll be interesting for Basil too, because he's kind of like, I'm wondering if that instinct is still sticking, because it feels like it's changing.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So take fate for that one.
Okay. Worked toward the printing thing.
Definitely.
We don't actually have it in our possession, but
Correct. But yeah, you definitely worked. So
we have our eyes on it.
Yep. Take a fate for that for sure.
Okay. Definitely trusted that those guys outside the building weren't gonna
Yeah. Well,
hurt
and
me.
you trusted the doctor, and like you didn't do a single like suspicious thing the whole time. You're just like, yeah, I know a doctor. Obviously, this is gonna work out. Wait, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool.
Cool. And then I think Woman of Few Words complicated things for you too.
Yeah.
You could very easily have changed. Like, she's your contact. Like, you didn't even say like, "Hey, I used to be your student. Like, do this favor for." Like, Basil just took over. Like, he was silence for you, which then complicated everybody's life. So yeah, take a feat for that one as well.
Okay.
Cool. Basil.
I think persona for Cassandra's new invention could shift history as we know it, and she should not vanish so easily into the pages of it.
She lived. Yep.
I will take that. And then I think a fate for never let a friend walk into danger alone by leaving myself here in danger.
Yes.
And sending her out. And you're right. He's been doing that in these new different ways. Like, it's not I will go into danger with them so much as it is like I don't know what it is yet. I'll have to think about it over the next week. But like, it is still about keeping his friends safe, but it isn't as simple as what I thought.
Yeah, it's becoming something else for sure.
Yeah. So I'll think about it.
Yeah, I like it. I would also take. I think that you used both your lordship to complicate your life, right? Like, that was kind of a dick move, and
huge
like,
dick move.
And then also like contemptuous, right? Like,
yes, I'm totally with you. I'll take.
And I think too, what's interesting about it is that you tried to fix it and failed, right? That you were like, I'm going to be contemptuous, like overbearing douche, and then I'm gonna,
I'll try to walk it back.
and it didn't. It just got away from you.
Totally.
Try to douche your way out of it.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. Like, even in trying to fix it, he was kind of a douche. So, yep,
awesome.
kind of an asshole.
All right, Rooster.
So, I think I've resolved this mess needs to be cleaned up. No, this is no loose ends bit.
Yep.
Which was really like, this was the last thread in like all those other beliefs that were about like, go raid the black robes, go do the things. It was just like about tying all of that shit together.
I think the most interesting thing we saw from the Rooster today was the bit where you became the power shifted for you.
Yeah, and so I think that one actually relates to my belief about how Basil gave me this chance to like change my life.
Yeah,
and that for me is what it's actually about.
Yeah.
And it's about him working towards like finding new ways to, live and like experience things. And like different things that he can do with his money rather than gamble it away, right? I can spend it on useful services from upstanding citizens.
Yeah, I'm the one that pays the boogeyman.
Yeah. So those ones. And then my new belief about how the curse is real after all, I did not move towards, but
you have an opportunity to, for sure.
So yeah, I don't know what kinds of points you think I should earn for those things, but
I mean, I think it's persona for the first one for sure. I think you work toward, but haven't found. I think that other belief, that third one, is really like that's angling you towards something really big.
Totally.
That one would be the one you're gonna like work towards getting your deed point on, because you're whatever it is, when you're like, I've found something better, when you've transformed from the Rooster we've seen these past 16, 17 episodes to
some new beast.
Yeah, some new beast. Exactly.
Totally. So yeah, I feel like I was working towards that in a kind of circuitous way. And then I don't know if any of my traits got me into trouble or anything. I mean, I played them all up pretty well, but it just wasn't a problem.
Yeah, I think they kept you on the right track in this case.
I was in my element today. Yep. It was good.
Cool. All right. And the Woodsman.
I don't think any of my beliefs. Well, okay, no. Obviously, my second belief, the world is a cold, violent place, and life has little meaning, was something I was in sort of direct conflict of today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we're leading up to a moment where that gets flipped on its head or something.
Yeah, the Woodsman, I think, is going to either become like more fully the Woodsman that we see now, or is going to be able to escape that Rooster gravity and like realize. Like, I mean, the thing about the rooster's crude ways seeming to reveal deeper meaning, I think you could definitely take fate for that. I would almost say that at this point, because this is the first time we saw the woodsman be like, fuck you, rooster. Like, you could change that belief. Like, you could take persona for it and change it to something else about the rooster.
I'm going to change it for sure.
Yeah, so let's resolve that one. Like, take your persona, take persona for that one. Because I think you've followed. We saw the point where the woodsman decided he's followed the rooster enough, right?
Yeah, totally.
That arc seems to have come to a close. So yeah, take your persona for that one for sure.
Okay.
I would take fate for the second one, not because you necessarily followed it, but because it was present, and it seems like you're starting to question it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether it's your own life or all life or whatever, like I think there's starting to be some uncertainty there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think any of your instincts got you in trouble here.
No.
But yeah, I feel like mainly this was a belief section for Woodsman.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah,
that was a good one for only playing for a couple hours. We got a lot of like intense shit done. There were more persona points in that 2 hours handed out than. Yeah, it was very focused play, which was cool.
We had lots of build up in the past few weeks. I think finally.
Exactly. There was a lot to
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Okay, I'm into it. I'm gonna go and start up the thread as usual. Austin, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Austin_Walker, at giantbomb.com, and my actual play podcast is friendsathetable.net. I'll pass it to Andrew.
Great. You can find me on Twitter at Commuting Crow and on twitch.tv/actualfactual, where I stream various stuff, video games and sometimes some art stuff, and hanging out, talking about the history of the idea of zombies and various other weird things were going on yesterday. It was pretty good. So you can check me out there. And I do this show and another show with Adam, my good friend Adam. What does Jess do?
Eating stream yet?
So I looked into it and I was like talking to some people, and apparently you are like not allowed to have an eating stream on Twitch.
What?
It offended me that my performance art of me eating a bunch of food
Wow.
is not allowed.
Wow.
Is it like too sexual or something? Because
it would be real sexual, I promise you.
Yeah.
Nice. But are they doing food streams now? Are they doing?
Yeah, I mean that's.
They open up a new category, maybe.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. I think I tweeted this the other day, but like just this weird notion where you see like you log into Twitch and see Bob Ross is currently hosting food, which is like Julia Child on Twitch, and you're like,
I love my life.
What is the world right now? Yeah, Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess. You can follow me on Twitter at Silden. That's my whole thing. Thank you for watching.
Yes, nice and concise.
Yeah, mine's concise too. All of my things sort of branch out from the trunk of my Twitter account, which is at SVNDER. So you can find me there, and I do some things.
Wicked. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, like I said, really fantastic. It's nice to see that. So this is the thing about Burning Wheel. As we get better at it, we can have these like long kind of meandering episodes, and we can have these like just hit the anvil as hard as we can with the hammer for 2 hours and be done with it. I've got a thread if people have questions about the game. I noticed there were some new folks in the audience, so if you're curious about the game at all or anything to do with the Burning Wheel or Roll20, pop on over there and check that out. Otherwise, we are here Fridays at 5 and Thursdays at 11. And Thursdays we play Mage the Ascension. So you can check that out as well. Andrew's on that show with me and some other cool folks. Coming up fairly soon, like beginning of summer, June 3rd is Roll20 Con. It'll be a 24-hour day of panels and RPGs. I'm going to be GMing a bunch of stuff and hanging out and talking about things. So make sure you set that day aside if you're interested in playing or watching some shows.
What day was that, Adam?
It's the 3rd of June.
The 3rd of
The
June.
3rd of June, and we'll have more information available about that as things solidify. We're doing the kind of like shuffle and starting to get the initial people together. So
Nice.
it should be pretty fun. It's exciting for folks who, because I know we have audience members from all over the place. So it'll be nice to have everybody be able to like come and hang out at a convention that happens also to be on the internet.
Yeah, that's
But,
rad.
yeah, you can learn more about that if you go to Roll20 app on Twitter and check out roll20.net. The news section of the site always has more stuff. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Glad you enjoyed this brief flicker of the burning wheel. We'll be back next week with more.
Sweet.
See you
Peace.
later, everybody.